2nd of July 2025. It's the night after we did our live chat, a regular live chat last night here on the channel. And I thought I'd just do like a quick catch up if anyone is watching who was watching the live chat last night. It's sort of, to me, and I've been back through it today, doing all the timestamps and cutting the remix shorts out of last night's video. To me, it felt like it just flew by. Bam, 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 bam. And I tried to keep up to date with the messages as best I could. And but it was a bit relentless. Well, that's how it felt to me. And I was watching it back this afternoon, as I say, going through doing the timestamps and the short remixes, and it just felt like the whole thing was a flurry. And at the time, it didn't feel like I was struggling to keep up. But I was seeing the messages come in, and thank you to you guys who were on it, because literally the messages didn't stop. And I realized when I was going through this afternoon, there were messages popping in and I completely didn't see them, because the conversation was going kind of relentlessly last night, which was great. That's what we want on the live chat. So I thought I'd just do this live chat now to say thank you anyway for everyone who came on, whether by text or you were just watching or you were on the video and you got involved with Mr. Sklar when he was on. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for that. And if anyone's got any questions, or if they posted last night and I missed out their comment or their question, it wasn't intentional. It was just such a flurry of activity that it was quite sort of difficult to keep up. And I realized quite a few people came on, they were expecting the Alembic chat, and I just couldn't get this interface to do the sound properly. I think there's a clash with StreamYard broadcasting out to YouTube. And if you've got multiple people, obviously there's multiple sound sources, sound streams going on. I think StreamYard just struggles to cope a bit, because there's plenty of people stream via OBS, which obviously I'm not using, and their bass performances are conveyed perfectly okay, no problems at all. So I don't want to move away from StreamYard, because then that takes away the whole coming on screen and being able to share images and videos as we're going along. But if I know that we're going to do like a bass demo or a bit of a performance, then it might be worth me going for that different method of doing the live chat. But we'll see. I can see some messages popping in. Thank you. There's 10 people watching as well. Fabulous. Westford, good to see you, sir. Stacy, North Carolina, saying hello to us both. There we go. Dawson, good to see you. You missed out on a cracker last night, my friend. What was it like having Lee Sklar on? Well, I don't want to be blasé. I've met him numerous times, interviewed twice. We've conversed via email on a regular basis for the best part of now 11 years. So he came on, and what you see is what you get. Lee is Lee, and he will just sit there and talk. And you want to talk bases, it's great. You want to talk about dogs, we'll talk about dogs. You want to talk about football, we can talk about that. You want to talk about food, he's more than happy to do that. So it was quite fab. And I've sent him a thank you message earlier today. Hopefully he'll see that. I know he's gigging today, so he probably won't check it till tomorrow. But I said thank you, and anytime he wants to come and hang on our channel, he's more than welcome. And that's a permanent offer. So as he said on the live chat, send me an invite each week, and if I can make it, I'll happily do it. So we'll see. We will see. I hope you enjoy. Well, obviously you may have seen it on playback, but it was great, and he was very giving of his time. He didn't have to do that. I only sent him an email like 45 minutes before we went live, and I wasn't sure he would take me. With all these famous players, when you meet them and you do interviews for magazines or TV or radio, you're just another interviewer. You're another face that they're meeting, probably for the first time or the second time. And I've experienced it, and I've said it about certain other name bass players. When they see me, they know who I am. When they see my name or see me on social media, they haven't a clue. They don't correlate me being the guy that used to write for Bass Guitar Magazine and Bass Player. They don't make that connection. And until they see me either face to face or a facial picture, uh, the the two connections aren't made. They don't get it. With Lee, he always replies. If I send him an email, he always replies. We always have a nice chat. And last night, I mean, how giving was that? I think he was on for about 40 minutes, I think, something like that, 35, 40 minutes. And he didn't have to do that. It was his day off after all. And but he was quite happy. I think, as I said in the live chat after he'd gone, I think what sealed it was the fact that I said he was safe to come on. And if anyone became abusive or disruptive or rude or obnoxious, then they're bombed out, they're gone. As I do with vertical live streams, you know, we get bombarded with sort of shorts, people who are watching shorts, and the vertical live feed gets fed out to shorts and people watching vertical live feeds, and you get bombarded with people. The numbers are severe, but people will come in, drop into your chat, leave a contentious message or post and disappear again. So you have to moderate sort of quite on the fly. And I did last night. There were a couple of people posted messages knowing that Lee was about to go, and they decided they were going to jump on, be rude and disappear. So they've been banned from the channel. They won't be coming back. But there we go. Stacey, it was epic, Stace. George, you missed out as well. Kick it. Well, it's there to be watched, George. You haven't missed anything. It's all there. Don't worry that you couldn't pose a question to him. Leave it in the comments, and if he comes back on again, and I suspect he will, he saw what we were doing, and you know, there's nothing confrontational there. Next time he comes on, either you can ask him or I'll ask on your behalf. But it's all there to be watched, so enjoy. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Westford. That's cool. DN, don't know who that is. Hi, Daddy. What's that mean? Stacey, definitely someone you could have a beer or a glass of wine with. He doesn't drink. Such a laid-back fellow, down to earth. He's earned the right, basically. It was a surreal moment, and you know what? As I was going through doing the timestamps today in the shorts, Richard's face, because he didn't have a clue. He'd obviously listened that I'd sent Leah a message, and and we were just what's he? Oh, we were fiddling about with the settings for the video, and I saw Lee pop up, and I thought, well, I know he's only got limited time, so I did the announcement. And I could see Richard's face. He was like, "What's this?" And then he realised Lee was on the screen. It was like a kid at Christmas. It went from he didn't realise. So that was great. That was lovely to see. And hopefully Lee doesn't think we bombarded him with stuff, but I thought the conversation was sort of quite free and easy, and I just wanted to have a catch up, see what he's up to, see what he's doing, see what he's got planned coming up. I mean, the guy is, oh, let's have a look. I've lost track. 78. If I'm still doing what I do to a level, very hard for anyone to really attain his level, into, you know, possibly the most recorded bass player in history, I suspect. Back in 2014, when I did my first interview with him, my research led me to believe he was on over 2,000 albums. Well, here we are. It's 2025. He's got to be edging closer to 3,000 maybe. And especially with all this work that he does when he's on the road and he's just recording tracks for people, recording a bass part, send it off, next one, right there. He could be on hundreds of albums every year. You know, I'm sure he keeps tabs on it all, but it was all good. Yeah, MR Film Vision. Hello, you're from Bangladesh. Good to see you. I'm in London, in the UK. This is a bass channel. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, all that sort of thing. Just having a preamble after last night's regular Tuesday night live chat, which went really, really well. So I've watched it back today, as I've had to go through doing the timestamp editing and the shorts remixes, and I realized last night was like a complete flurry of information and questions and chat, and it just was and before we knew it, we'd done 3.5 hours. I couldn't believe how quickly we rattled through everything. So I just wanted to touch base with the regulars here on the channel and anyone else that wishes to drop into the conversation. If there are any questions you had following last night's live chat or any of the shorts that have gone up today, fire away. Feel free to ask. If I can answer your questions, that's what I'm here for. Stacey, he'll be here in your neck of the woods with Lyle Lovett on September 26th. You should go and see him. Say you're regular here on the channel, you know me. He'll be very happy to chat. And usually most gigs you come out, unless it's like Wembley Arena or a stadium or anything, but if it's a regular type of venue, he'll happily chat. And again, tell him you know me, and I'm sure he'll be very cordial. Bill Clements, good to see you. Hope you're good. You missed out on a good live chat last night, Bill. Boston, hi, good to see you. Welcome. Dawson, how does a fretless bass work? How do you know where to play on the neck? Several options there. So you've either got an unlined neck, which means, well, there's different variations. Obviously, if you have a fretted neck and take the frets out, really you're going to fill the fret slots with a veneer. You can either have a dark wood, so it doesn't really show, or you can have a lighter veneer like a maple or a sycamore, and it will give you a visual reference in terms of the lines. If you've defretted the bass, then you'll still have the front facing position markers, but the dots on the side will not line up with where the frets would be. They'll be located in the middle of the fret spacing, and really you want to be as close to the fret line as possible. So there are different variations. Some people can't play with fret lines, some people can't play without them. So there's different options there. How do you know where to play on the neck? Fretless bass is a different discipline, playing fretted. A lot of people train their ears to know the tonality of where the notes are and the tones are on the neck, so they can play by feel, and they'll use their ears to kind of guide them around. Sometimes with fretless bass players, you see them playing with their eyes closed because they know the fingerboard so well. Who are you? Ayush Sharma, tell a joke. It's not a comedy channel, my man. Tell a joke, Ayush Sharma. There you go. There's a joke. George Iliadis, saw him with Alan Holdsworth in the 90s. Wow, okay. Small gig in Richmond, Melbourne, the iconic Corner Hotel. Bet that was a good gig. I know Lee obviously played with Billy Cobham and what have you. Him playing with Holdsworth, that would have been a thing. I kind of Lee and Jimmy Johnson come out of this, two peas out of a similar pod, you know. I bet that was a good gig. Good memories of that, George. Emsin, sound farts. Oh dear, we've got some knobheads on. Oh, let's get rid of these people, shall we? Get rid of the dickheads. There we go. Bill, Lee is a good dude. Had several pleasant NAMM interactions. He was on for about 40 minutes last night, and I'm hoping he'll come on again in the future. I'll send him an invite each week, and then it's kind of up to him if he wants to come on screen and go live. He is always very welcome, as are most of the people that I've interviewed over the years. You know, I send emails out sporadically. I don't bombard the people who I've had good interactions with in the past. I just send invites out if we've got, like, if it's an anniversary live chat or something, and if they want to come on, they are more than welcome. It's just trying to build a safe environment for them to come on to, because a lot of these guys, they get bombarded with social media and email and people being rude and nasty, and that's not what we're about. Well, anyone that comes on the channel knows, you know, I'm not having it. I'm not having people come on here and feel like they're going to get abused or swore at and all of that. And it's not happening. So, you know, as I've said before, people come on the live chat. You want to be rude. You want to be obnoxious. You want to be pardon my language, YouTube. You want to be a shit house. Out of it. You're not coming onto my channel. Simple. It's my channel. It's not Facebook. It's not, you can do what you like. It's not. It's my channel. I call the shots. That's the way it works. Dawson, Lee has subtle playing, very. He uses mandolin fret wire, which sometimes looks like he's just coasting across the fingerboard. They're very shallow frets, which makes it kind of easier. Sometimes you see him play a bass and you'll think, is he playing a fretless? Unless it is a fretless. He doesn't tend to do that a whole lot, I don't think. But that sound is because the mandolin wire is very low. So I guess when he chews up frets, they're probably going through refretting wire often, I would imagine. He plays to the song, very tasteful, exactly that. He's a pro working player, you know, he's probably got about 60 years of playing experience. You can't buy that. You can't just go out and replicate that. And a lovely guy to boot, which is fabulous. Boston, play weren't. What? Please, if you're going to come on the channel, talk in constructed English sentences. It's not one word and then press return. That's not a conversation. I can't talk to that. So, Boston, please talk properly. Please. Agreed, Dawson, says Stacey. The ensemble is always front of mind with Mr. Scott. Totally. My interview with him, the second interview I did, is up here on the channel. I'm broadcasting on. Actually, let me think. If I could, I've got my PC in front of me. Let me see if I go in. Should be able to see that this is live. Maybe not. No, we're there. I can post a link to it, to the interview I did with him back in 2016. I can't believe that's 9 years ago. I really can't. Where is it? There we go. I'll post it in. Anyone wants to check that out later or now, you can. Where are we going here, Mike? Yeah. No. Get rid of that. Bear with me a minute. I'm making a pig's ear of this. Here we are. No, I don't need that coming through the headphones. Thank you very much. Let's get that right. I can put that in now. Hurrah! And I can actually read the messages on the screen rather than trying to use my varifocal glasses and not focusing very well. There you go. That's my interview with Lee Sklar from 2016. Boston, do you all have to be a jerk? All I do is say play Queen. No, but you weren't constructing it in a sentence. You said play weren't Queen. What's that mean? Be pleasant or I'll just remove you from the channel, mate. I don't need the grief or the hassle. Westford, next Mark King should come on. It's not going to happen. I've asked Mark 3 or 4 times. He's not interested in doing live chat stuff. That's not his thing at all. And Annie Ruder Thacker. Hey, dude, you look 25. Checks in the post. Thank you very much. What is the secret behind your fitness? Nothing. I'm 53. Fitness? No, I'm not super fit, sadly. That's something I need to work on. But it's all good. It's all good. Westford, yes, nice. Check it out. Yeah, dude. The thing with Lee. I think he was here. I said on last night's live chat when we did the interview in 2016, he was here with Phil. I don't think he was. I think that was a year later in 2017. When he was here in 2016, I think he was doing stuff with Judith Owen. And he'd been here like a year or 2 before, and it was when Brian Ferry was doing a couple of solo shows at the Albert Hall, and he pulled the show 5 minutes before Judith Owen and Lee were going on stage. Brian Ferry pulled the show because he wasn't happy with his voice. And I think these were like rescheduled shows. I can't remember. I'd need to go back and listen to the interview. But yeah, Lee was here for a while. Well, maybe they were doing recording. I can't remember. Can't remember all the ins and outs. Mayor Cohen, good to see you. But yeah, he was over here. I think he was doing a tour with Judith. Actually, were they doing a support slot with, now, who was it? I can't remember. I could go through my emails because I've still got all the emails from when we lined up that interview. And that'll give the game away. But yeah, crazy. If you're on this live chat, feel free to give the video a thumbs up. It's the most important thing you can do for any of the videos. For me, the channel, for this live chat, for any videos here on Brooksy's Bass Corner. A thumbs up is mighty fine. If you can do that, it'd be fab. Yeah, so that was 2016. We went through a whole load of stuff. I remember I had so many questions. We actually ran out of time. And I tried to do another interview with him when we were in lockdown, when I just started the channel. I said, look, I'm going to put up this interview from 2016. How about we do like a catch up? And he went, yeah, that's great. Fire some dates at me. And every time I'd fire like a clutch of like 5 or 6 dates, he was just so busy, he couldn't do them. Even when we were in lockdown, he just had stuff going on. And then once we came out of lockdown, he's kind of like, he's permanently on tour. He's a lucky boy. And we've never got around to doing another interview, but if he's going to come on the live chats, I don't need to do an interview because you can catch up on a semi-regular basis, really. Westford says, secret behind fitness is playing bass. Tell that to Nate Watts. Stacy, that's it, Westford. So yeah, so if anyone wants to talk about the Alembic stuff we were going to do last night and we didn't, it kind of became a bit of a mess. Obviously we're on a vertical live stream, so there's only so much you can see. But I've got the bases here, so if you want to talk about Alembics, I'll drag a couple out, and I haven't plugged them up, so you won't be able to hear them apart from me playing acoustically. But I'm happy to sort of talk details and go through stuff and all of that. So you want to talk about these little beauties? Little. Gotta be joking. They're long and they're kind of heavy, but they sound like nothing else on earth, bass wise. I do use them. People always say, do you take your Alembics out? Yeah, I do. If I know what the venue is and I know how big the stage is going to be, and I know I'm not going to clatter that into someone's guitar or drums or head, which has happened, then I'll take it out. Got a bit of fret sprout going on the underside of the fingerboard. Might be time to, well, it's got to go on the workshop at some point because I've got to change the strings on this and do a bit of a setup. Yes, Westford, Mark King signature standard. This is humbucking pickups, not single coils, but a very simple layout, control layout. It's not, that's LEDs. Regular jack socket, none of the 9-pin stuff. Volume. No, that's volume. Pickup pan. Low pass filter for that pickup. Low pass filter for that pickup. And a Q switch for each pickup. Simple, really easy, not complicated at all. And I know people look at it and go, oh, low pass filters, it's not a 3-band EQ, I can't possibly use it. Yes, you can. You just got to play around with it. Get, as I've said before, treat the neck pickup as bass EQ, treat the bridge pickup, why is that screw so high? Treat the bridge pickup as treble EQ. You got your pickup pan, you can go between the 2 pickups, and then set your low pass filters and your Q switches for the attack, initial note attack. There you go. And then just pan between the pickups until you get the sound you want. Not difficult. Not difficult. People make it sound like it's difficult. It's not. Dawson, you saw John Paul Jones, Alembic 7780 bass at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was a big advocate of them for a while. I'll tell you something, Westfort, you're playing a King bass. Is yours 32-inch scale with a bend well? Because if it is, this is going to feel like a marathon for you. It's so long. That slide isn't even to the 24th fret. Stu Milne, good to see you. Sorry, I've realised today I went through your messages last night and I missed one and then picked up on it later and we kind of moved on. I'm really sorry I missed your message when you posted. Is it an Alnico or ceramic type humbucker in your Alembic? Now there's a question. I don't know. I can have a look for you. Let's have a little look, shall we? Let's go on Alembic specs. Have a little look. Oh, here we go. It's doing that stupid thing where it throws a bit of a paddy. Yeah. Get in there. Right. Let's have a look. Preamps, strings, pickups. Dee 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 dee. No, that's not telling me. And there's manual. Now then, I think they're Alnico. But I'm having a look. I'm having a look on the reference pages. Let's see. Neck widths. Sorry, wood features. Laminating patterns, serial number guide, wood nomenclature. Nothing about the pickups. Okay. Site index. Here we go. Right, pickups. Ease of installation. Wide filters. The activators. Now, I don't know if that's what these are on this. Activator pickups serve only to translate the string motion into the corresponding electronic signals with the highest fidelity possible. Pickups reject magnetic hum and are completely shielded with an expanded copper Faraday cage to eliminate noise. I don't think it even says. It doesn't say. Doesn't say. I would imagine they're all Nico, but don't quote me on that. I can't guarantee that's correct. Who have we got there? Elise Electroliz. How much guitars for this? You want to buy one of these? Okay. Brand new. Second hand. You're looking in the UK. You're looking at about £6,500 to £7,000. Brand new. Let's get back onto the price list, shall we? Mark King signature standard with no bells and whistles, $18,300. LAM final countdown really don't do play-alongs because it'll lead to copyright claims and copyright strikes. Stacy, you'd need to go to Europe for that. Yeah. Whoa, she's very good. Bill Clements, nice. Thank you, Bill. Westport, what bass strap do you use? On this is comfort strap, which I have on all my basses. I have bought, well, you probably saw a couple of months back, I bought one of these for the Bootsy bass, and it didn't save the day. But I do think it's going to work very well on an alembic. I'm not going to take it all off here because I haven't got a lot of space, and it gets a bit, doing the strap locks and the strap and the alembic weighs a fair bit. It's but I want to see how these work. That's actually going to be a video that's coming up. It's where I bought that for the Bootsy, and it didn't solve the issue. It wasn't the strap's fault. I just bought it on spec to see if it might solve the problem, and it didn't. It's a short one. It's the short one that they do. I tend to have to use the second hole there. But that's it at full whack. The only thing I can do with this strap is to get it any higher than that. It's both strap ends on the first or the second hole, I guess. And that's it. I can't get it any higher up than that. You'd need to have probably a one-piece strap without any extension on it. This has got extension there, so I can drop it down if I want. That's actually pretty good. It's comfortable. It's not a Bootsy. Doesn't fall. And it's not light. Oh, these strings are dead. Time for a string change. The neck on this is a whole lot broader than the 20th anniversary model that I've got in the rack there. If you can see it, it's hard to tell, but it's fairly. The other one's probably about, I wouldn't say half, maybe a third thinner, slimmer in terms of profile. The wood grain is magical. Well, it's alembic. They don't do crap grains, that's for sure. There are some basses that are a little less figuratively decorated. But this is California. I think this is a California walnut. I've never seen the spec sheet. It didn't come with it. But I know if I send Micah a message at Alembic, she'll send it through one day. She's a busy woman. Stu Milne, is it neck through? Yes. Completely. Thanks for all your help. It's all right. It's what the channel's for, my friend. It's what we do. For next week's live chat, I'll try and get the audio interface issues sorted out. We did get them sorted out back in like October, November, and we haven't done any sort of play along demo stuff for a long time. Tried to do it yesterday. I thought, oh well, I know what's going to cause the problem. It could have been anything. Just couldn't get it to work yesterday. Not decently anyway. Westport, nice. I think I'm going to try it because I can't seem to find a strap that fits you. Okay, yeah, comfort straps are great. I don't know who the distributor is where you are. I don't even know who the distributor is in the UK. I think all the shops, Base Direct, Base Brothers, Gallery, they buy them directly from the company that makes comfort straps. And Mr. Tumnus, evening. Who's that then? I'm assuming you know me. Strangers don't normally come on and say, evening Brooksy. You've got a Betsy base. Thank you. Because of my videos, thank you. That's the happy customer. Demoing the tone. Thank you for that. My pleasure. Did you buy it through the affiliate links? If you did, if you ordered it through the affiliate links, I'll be getting a very small commission from those fine base center people. My Betsy is there, right there in the rack. Mr. Lover, good to see you again. Like the idea of the way you use the strap locks. These? What do you mean? Or are you talking about the video I've got on the channel for strap locks? Put some more meat on the bones of what you've just said, and then I'll know what you're talking about. You like the you obviously can see that I'm doing that. So there's a video on here on the channel where I tell you about a situation I had very early on in my professional career. I'd used shallows for years. I was on a gig with the Kabiki Factor on, and the washer and screw that goes on the top, that the strap is meant to attach with those things holding it in place, and then you basically put the strap and the lock over the strap button. Well, the washer and screw come off, which meant the strap could then pig off, and it did. And thankfully I caught the base as it was heading to the floor, and I thought there's got to be a way around this. So I just bypassed the screw and the washer. I put the strap on the strap button, and then providing the hole on your strap isn't bigger than the width or length of the strap lock, so you don't need the other two bits. I've got tons of the screws and the washers. You don't need them. And that has worked for me since 1995. So sometimes you just got to think these things through, and it works. My favorite bands, Rock 3T. My favorite bands, Queen, Duran Duran, Level 42, Prince, Chic, Earth, Wind and Fire. Then there's millions of bands I like. Weather Report, Roachford, Damn Reed Network, Yes, Extreme, Sting, Police. How long you got? Mr. Big, George Michael, Spin Doctors, Thunder, Toto. How could I forget Toto? It should have been like one of the first ones I rattled off. I mean, there's just tons of stuff I like. We could be here all day if I did that. Oh, Young Gun, Silver Fox, one of my favorite bands. If you don't know who Young Gun, Silver Fox are, get on YouTube, check them out. How do I feel about Andy Rourke? I've met Andy Rourke. I've had many a chat with him at the London Bass Guitar Show back in, was that 2016, 2017? He was one of the masterclass contributors at the London Bass Guitar Show, so I know Andy Rourke. I'm not a fan of the Smiths. I can't stand the Smiths. I can't stand the Cure, but I will take my hat off that Andy Rourke was a very good bass player. Westford, you're waiting for your strap lock, also for your status, along with my strings. Oh, the strap lock is for the status, right? Got you. Mr. Tumnus, had a bad experience with those shallows. The U shape turned upside down without me knowing. Then during some rather exuberant playing on stage, your bass was taken by the grasp of Lady Gravity. Well, it shouldn't happen. Right, I know what happened then. So I'll try and show you as close up as I can. In order to engage the lock, which is there, you have to pull that out. It moves. If I move my finger, right, watch. It comes out. But the problem is it's on a thread, and over time it unscrews. And if it ends up loose, that whole system there falls to bits. So every gig, once I realized that's what it was capable of, which was about 1997, I always, when I take strap locks out of my gig bag, I put my thumb in on that black part that goes into the strap button, press it up, which then forces that. Right, if I take my finger away, hold on, watch, it extends. Yeah, push it up and turn it until it doesn't turn anymore on the thread. Then you know it's locked. And then I can have that any way on that strap button. It's not going to come unlocked. But what happens over time is that part that's going down, that goes into the hole on the strap button, wears away and smooths out. Over time, you're going to have another set. They don't last forever. I've probably got about 20 sets in there. I used to put them on every base as I bought them. And then what I found in probably the last 10 years is I was starting to buy more secondhand bases that didn't have them fitted. And the screws that were holding the factory fitted strap buttons were much bigger than the screws that come with the shallows. So rather than take them out and have to use wood filler to make a secure surface for the screw to adhere to, I've just decided on those bases, forget the shallow strap locks, just use the red washers, the Grolsch bottle washers. But you can actually buy them as packs of washers for guitar straps. About £3. Buy a pack of 10, you've got them then. And I always keep a load of them in my gig bag as well. So if I've got a bass and the strap locks aren't going to do the job, or I lost them for whatever reason, I've got those red rubber washers and they work great. Tunic dude, you play something, please. No, because I'm not going to incur copyright claims and copyright strikes. Sorry, wrong channel. Other people will do it. I don't do that. Bro, you look like old Chris Poland. Who's that? Is this B Bender? What? Stop talking gibberish. Don't come into my channel and your first messages are a load of old tut. All right? Either talk properly in coherent sentences or don't bother. And if you reply to this and you're going to be rude, I'll just block you. So take your pick. West Fort, you're going to sleep. We'll have happy dreams of basses, alembics, statuses, JDs, and GB rumor basses. Think on that. Some guy. Oh, good to see you, Hoyt. Welcome, checking in. Congratulations on yesterday's guest. You either know them or you don't. I get lucky. Mr. Tumnus. Since that incident, you've been on the Grolsch washers. There you go. Like I say, I keep a bag of about 10 of them in both gig bags. And then I have one set of gold strap locks, one set of black, one set of chrome. And that pretty much does everything I need. That's, before every gig and I leave home, I check that I've got everything in the pockets on my gig bags and we're good to go. B bender is a term for guitar player that bends the B string mechanically. In that case, Barak, I offer my sincerest apologies. Is this a B bender? You're right, Hoyt. Yes, I know what he means. It's the thing where you pull the strap and it does like a tremolo effect, which is on, was it George Harrison's Rosewood Telecaster, built by Phil Kubicki, I think. If that's what you were referring to, Barak, I apologize. My fault. It's just on these vertical live streams, we get people flying in out of nowhere, dropping swear bombs, and I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know who Chris Poland is. Sorry. Just you caught me on one there, so I apologize for that. This is an alembic. It's a Mark King signature standard. We were going to talk about alembics on last night's live chat, and it all went a bit to pot. Lewis Wingrove, good to see you on vacation. I was talking about you a couple of weeks back on one of the live chats, so I hope you're safe and well. You missed a good live chat last night. We had Lee Sklar on. Mr. Lover, what do you think of Sandberg bass is very good as a workhorse for a function covers band? It's the same realm as Stingrays and Music Mans, and great basses, well put together, solid, good array of tones, reliable. You're not going to go wrong with a Sandberg. So Yeah, and there's loads of models. If you're going to have one done from scratch, there's the instrument builder on their website. So yeah, plenty of options. Dawson, for reference, Chris Poland used to play for Megadeth. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Do I look like him? I certainly haven't got his bank balance. So I apologize to Barack. I didn't know what he was implying. As I've said, we get people fly in on the vertical live streams, say a few things and disappear, and it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So there you go, Stacey. Lewis Wingrove, the Lewis Wingrove. There we are. You're working at Haas making CNC machines. Oh, interesting. Okay. It's been an age, pedal man. There we go. You're waiting for your Dingwall. It's paid for in US Customs. What did you order? What did you order? What model? Finish? Pickups? Bruno Vivant. Good to see you. Welcome. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects. Rock 3T, you're a freshman in college. Planning on transferring to New York, play cafe gigs and open mics? You go for it, sir. Do you think it's possible to have success this way? Yeah. And have you ever played in New York? No, I've been to New York once. I was there in 2014 with Bass Guitar Magazine. We were interviewing Stuart Spector, the Spector basses, and Dave Avenius and Dave Boonshoft at Aguilar when they were still the bosses. So that was 11 years ago. Haven't been back since. Would love to. Never played in New York. Probably will never get to play in New York. Never played in America. There's the whole green card issue. I could probably get up at a jam night maybe. Would love to do a tour. Would love to play shows in America, but none of the bands or the artists I play with are going to be playing in America. So it's a shame. You got a combustion whale pull burst. I love that. I love that finish. You're going to really love that, Lewis. Enjoy. Palfero neck. Yeah. Fingerboard. Yeah. Oh, is it? No, combustion. It'll be a maple neck with a Palfero board. It's been a year since ordered. Well, unfortunately, Dingwalls do have a long waiting list. But you'll get it a lot quicker than if you were ordering a JD or a Wall. They're both on about 4-year production cycles at the moment. So you'll get it. You'll get it. When you get it, let me know, because I talk to Sheldon Dingwall regularly. I was talking to him today, actually. And if you have any issues with it, we can get you in touch with Sheldon if there's any issues. So I don't expect there will be. It will be amazing. Yes, Stacey, that color is gorgeous. I nearly bought an AB. Was it an AB1 or an AB3? They had a second-hand one in Bass Direct before I got my NG2, and they let me play it and then said, "Oh, sorry, it's sold." Why didn't you tell me that to begin with? And I would have bought it. It was lovely. It had a Wengy neck. The whale pull burst finish. It was a cracker. Patricia, put teeth in. Patricia Crevier, good to see you again. Thank you for joining on last night's live chat. Welcome this evening. This is an after the event live chat I'm doing at the moment. It's just a spontaneous impromptu live chat. Rock 3T, New Order and Joy Division had some phenomenal bass playing. Peter Hook, interviewed him 3 times. Yeah. Interviewed Hooky a few times. Lovely man, supports Man U. What can I say? Lewis Wingrove, now have the money for a new amp venture, 700 watts, 2x10 cab. How about 2x12 cab? That'll give you the best of all worlds, a 212. Patricia, thank you for all the tips. Players, what I'm here for. Offer advice, information and guidance, and if it helps you guys on your bass journeys, then I've succeeded. That's the whole plan. Lewis, so this month it should have an entire new rig. You're so excited. Quite right. These things are to be looked forward to, and you've probably worked very hard to pay for them, so enjoy. Just be aware with the Dingwalls, you're going to have to probably change your string preferences. So Dingwall do their own strings, Payson do their own strings. Different brands do cater for Dingwalls. Rotor Sound do some extended string sets, but I've still not done a string change on my NG2, and that's coming up on 8 years. So I still don't know if the Rotor Sounds I've got for that are going to work or not. We will see. Lewis, you like the 12 better sonic speaking? Yeah, get a 212. Get a 212 Neo cap if you can afford that, and you'll love it. It'll be lightweight. You get really nice bottom end from the 12s. If it's got a tweeter in it, you'll get a nice crispness to it. Covers all the bases. 2x10s are lovely when paired with another cab. On their own, it's not that they're limited, but they can only convey so much bottom end. Physical nature of 2x10 speakers. That's what J Bean, good to see you. You do any double thumb? Nah. I'm struggling so much with it, and I've played for 30 years. Suggestions? There's loads of videos. It is a practice thing. I've never been asked to do it. I've never had to do it. I'm 53 years old. I'm probably never going to learn to do it. I don't see the need for it. I've made a career for 30 years. I've never had to double thumb. I could sit and practice it for 6 months and I'd have it down. Why bother? There's so many other good things I could do, like produce videos for you fine people. Patricia, you have a jazz bass guitar. Very nice. Color, finish, fingerboard, age, make. What have you got? Let us know. James Howard, good to see you again. This is a bit of an impromptu one, James. So last night was the big performance. This is just an impromptu live chat. I pressed go live and here we are. So I realized earlier I was doing all the timestamps for last night's live chat and realized the whole thing went by at such a rapid pace. How I kept my breath, I don't know. It was just relentless last night. We got through 3.5 hours at rapid speed. So this is like the come down because I've been editing that video and the shorts from it all day. So I thought I'd go live, see who's around, who's regular, and yeah, if anyone's got any further questions or anything they want to ask about last night, or if we didn't go into enough detail on something, more than happy to discuss it, 'cause it's a little less frenetic tonight. Lewis, 2x12 it is, your home practice rig. You'll love it. You'll love it. I've got I used for a number of years, I use Aguilar SL212s. I've got the EBS Neo 212 cab, and I used to pair that with different amps, EBS Fafners, HD350. They sound great with small 200 watt class D amps. Really great cabs. And because, well, EBS gear hasn't been fashionable for some time, but also those cabs over here in the UK, you can pick them up for like 350 quid. It cost me over £1,000 to buy it in 2009. Having said that, I used it on hundreds of gigs, so it more than paid for itself. But if you can pick up secondhand EBS Neo 212, you will not be disappointed. And pair that with a really good amp, you'll be laughing. You'll thank me for it, I promise. If you want me to do a demo for you at some point, Lewis, let me know in advance and I'll hook it up and I can pair it with a load of different amps and you can hear how it sounds. It's a great cab. Love it. Rock 3T, have you heard of the Cocteau Twins? Absolutely, yes. A band from my youth. If so, what do you think about them? They were never my thing. I'm a Duran Duran guy. Cocteau Twins never kind of sonically grabbed my ears. Just not my thing. But if they're your thing, that's all cool. I'm not familiar with their material now. I would have heard it when I was a kid, and it did nothing for me. Otherwise, I would have become a fan. But that's all cool. If that's your thing, then you if that's your inspiration to be musical, go for it. J Bean, do you have a go-to riff that you use? No, I tend to. Well, there are things that are always floating about in my subconscious, but anyone that works in a bass shop here in the UK will know I'm no soloist. That's not what I do. I'm a supportive bass player, and normally in stores I am frimicking around like a devil. Usually because when I always had basses for review for the magazines, there are certain things that I play or techniques I play that I want to hear how that bass responds to. So finger style, of course, bit of pick, bit of slapping, pinched harmonics, tapping, but not tapping as in, not that, where it's like I make a Billy Sheehan ringed harmonics, you know. I want to hear how the bass resonates. I want to hear, do the harmonics ring out from the neck, or are they muted? Pinched harmonics, of course. I want to hear those sort of things, and all that sort of thing. But I'm not a soloist. I just don't do that sort of thing. I don't do it when I'm playing on stage. I'm never really in that sort of position. So there are people who sit there and they'll spend hours of their day becoming a bass soloist. It's not my thing. I'm getting a bit long in the tooth. I'm 53. It's never really been something I've had to do, and I've got other priorities, you know. Dawson, have you ever played a double neck bass? Yes, but not owned one. Played them in stores. EBS is great gear. It is. I used it for many years. 16 years I used it. I've still got it all here. Love it. But I'm an Aguilar user these days. Lewis, I love 4AD records. What's that? ABBA Light. Hello. Are you an ABBA fan? Are you in an ABBA tribute? I play in ABBA tributes. Who's my favorite bassist? Oh, I can't. I'll give you 5. John Deacon, John Taylor, Mark King, Billy Sheehan. Marcus Miller. And then there's many behind them in that list. Loads of people I like. Lee Sklar, who we had on the live chat last night. Lewis Wingcrove, This Mortal Coil, Dead Can Dance, plus the Cocteau Twins are 4AD records. Okay, cool. Jay Bean, I have that same guitar strap. You love Duran Duran bass lines. Excellent. Are you a fan of the Killers? They're okay. They're all right. I grew up when Duran Duran were at their height. So to me, there's a lot of elements in the Killers that they took from Duran Duran and bands of that time. And I've played many a Killers song in covers bands. So yeah. But no, they're good. I like Brandon Flowers. I think he's a good frontman. Patricia, what is my favorite song to play on bass? Oh, I can't do that. Can't do that. There's lots of stuff I like playing. I play in a disco show band. I can pick out any of the bass lines that I play there. They're all great. It's a killer band to be in. I could give you probably 100 Queen bass lines that I like playing. Loads of Duran Duran, Level 42, Prince, loads of James Brown stuff I love playing. Simple stuff. Play it right. Great stuff. Can't go wrong with that. Rock 3T, at what age did you discover music? Probably when I was about 3 or 4. I knew from about the age of 6 that I wanted to be a musician, but I had absolutely no clue how you went about it. I had no one in my family to guide me. No one in my family was musical in terms of being able to play. I had to suss it all out and work it out for myself. And I was at school. I wanted to be a singer. The old dropped and the voice went lower. So I realized being a singer probably wasn't for me. Then thought I'd be a drummer. Realized I couldn't drive at the age of 14 or 15. So how are you going to get a kit around? And a friend of mine at school who I still play with was amazing at 14. And I thought, wow, you got a lot of catching up to do. You want to be as good as him. And then one of the teachers said, does anyone want to learn how to play bass guitar? I was a huge John Deacon, John Taylor fan. I thought, yeah, here we go. And I sat down, put a bass on, and that was it. Sold, hook, line, and sinker. That's my career. And here we are. Here we are 38 years later. And what did it mean to me at the time? Well, that day, that was in my lunch hour at school. I had one more lesson that afternoon. I didn't concentrate at all. All I knew was I'd found what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I went home. My mum said, what's going on? That look on your face. And I said, I found what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm going to be a bass player. And I started saving all my paper round money to buy my first bass. And like I say, here we are. Been doing it for a living for 30 years. Been playing for 38 years. It's what I do. It's what I do. Bezra Dogan, hi. You speak very softly. I'm keeping my voice. I'm not on a microphone tonight. That was last night's production. So I'm just on my mobile here doing a vertical live stream. We were talking for 3.5 hours last night. The old Hobson's choice took a bit of a battering. So I'm trying not to lose my voice because I've got a disco show band gig at the weekend. I've got to do loads of falsetto backing vocals. So I need to save what I've still got, what juice is left in the tank I need to keep. So that's why I'm not talking loudly and being brash and full on. Lewis Wingrove, newest British band I'm messing with is Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. I've heard of them. What sort of stuff? Enlighten me, Lewis. Axop here. Can you play Ransom, please? No. Lewis, Sklar is your favourite. Lee Sklar. Last night's live chat. Lee was on for about 40 minutes with us. Axop keep asking me to play Ransom. I don't do play-alongs because I'm not going to get a copyright claim or a copyright strike. Don't do it. Lewis, Lee seems to have performed all the great bass lines you grew up with. He's a legend, you know. What can you say? There's nothing that hasn't been said about the man in glowing terms, glowing references. He is the sort of bass player you want to be, you know. And at 78, he's still got all the... I'm sure he has days where he just thinks, no more. But he's recording constantly. And as he showed us last night on the live chat, sat in his hotel room, he was recording bass lines for projects yesterday. People pay him to play on their demos and their albums and their singles. And he can come up with a load of them in an afternoon. Great way to work. He's on double bubble. He's getting paid for being on tour with Lyle Lovett. And on his days off and his times in his hotel room, he's recording for other people and doubling his money. I used to do it when I used to do the month-long trips to the Middle East. I'd have my gig fee. I'd have my magazine writing journalist fee because I'd write loads of reviews and articles while I was away. And I'd have my fixing agent fee for booking bands into venues in London. I'd do all of that while I was away. So I'd have 3 income streams all at one time. Daniel de Assis, you're from Brazil. Good to see you. Welcome. J Bean, Lee Sklar, Nathan East, Pino are they're one operators for sure. It's top level players. You don't carry on being at that level for such a long time if you're not good. You know, they know the people, they know the right people, they get the projects, they're great players, and they get called back time and again. That's the standard you've got to reach. You want to do this, that's where you got to be. Lewis, your favorite was Lee's producer knob. He was talking about that last night and how Jim Roberts from Bass Player magazine told him people wanted to buy it. They actually produced a feature on that, and it was for April Fool's Day, and they said you could buy it, and people were sending in checks and postal orders to buy it, and it wasn't a thing. It was made up. I said to him, you should have put it all in a pedal housing. People would buy it. If you charge 50 quid for a metal case with a couple of knobs on, and you could run it off a battery so the LED would come on to operate, and it didn't do anything, people would buy that. He was a genius at that point. Yeah, well, it's just crazy. And he explained last night how that came about. It was a guitarist he was sat in with on a session, and their baffles up. So the guy they were playing for couldn't see what they were doing, only like the top part of their head. They couldn't see what instruments. And he learned that the guitarist was being asked to produce different sounds on different instruments, but the guy only had one instrument with him, which was his guitar. So he just changed like pickup and tonal settings, but the producer, the guy asking for all the sounds and the tones, didn't know. He had no clue. Legendary stuff of legend. But it's good. It's good, you know. And you learn all this stuff. I'm so pleased he came on to last night's live chat. It was great. Really, really good. We had a good blast for about 40 minutes. He was, and then he went off to do his own live chat on. Well, I don't know if it runs on his YouTube channel. It's a paid for thing called the Clubhouse, and you pay. You can either pay £10 a month, or you can pay £75 a month, or $75, $10 or $75, and you get to speak to him for about 10 minutes once a week or once every 2 weeks or something. So yeah, I may look into doing the $10 a month thing and go and sit in on a couple of his Clubhouse live chats, see what they're like. Jay Bean, is there a piece of gear that you use that you feel everyone should have? Yes, loads. I think people should look at the Digitech Drop or the EHX Pitchfork. Both of those, and I've done videos on the Drop, and I get argumentative sods come on here and go, oh, it doesn't work for bass. Yeah, it does work for bass. Just lower your levels of expectation, and a lot of it is down to the bass, the pickups, the strings, the circuitry you've got in your instrument, and how you play, because it's all based on the same principles as octave pedals. Tracking, sort of cleanliness of the bass signal, not being over egged with too much EQ and too much bottom end and too much top. It's a fine line. Lots of people struggle with octave pedals. It's not a simple, not all octave pedals are the same. And the Digitech Drop, for me, works down to about 3 semitones, 4 at a push, but you lose your top end clarity. So if you're doing a lot of slapping, it will work for 1, 2, maybe 3 semitones. After that, you probably go, no, it's robbing me of my top end. But for fingerstyle and pick, it's great. I have no issues with it. It is a better tracking pedal effect for high frequency instruments, so keys, guitars, anything in that realm. Bass is a lot lower frequencies, so the tracking becomes a lot stickier. But I think people should check those pedals out. I wish I'd had either of those pedals 25 years ago. Would have made so many gigs that I did a whole lot easier, especially when singers or bands you're depping with suddenly go, oh, we're not going to play this song in E, we're going to play it in C sharp. If I'd had that pedal, I could have gone 3 semitones down, 1, 2, 3, and off we go, and played it in the same position that I learned it in. Other pieces of gear. Have a good preamp DI pedal. Even if you don't use it, have it in your case. Get a cheap one, and you've always got it then if you need it. It's your get out of jail card, really. Lewis Wingrove, you did put the new Helix Stomp Stadium on pre-order. It's pricey. All the Helix stuff is pricey. $1,900 US. But one and done for digital. It won't replace your pedal board, but should add to the setup nicely. There's plenty in there. You're going to get your fingers, roll your sleeves up. You're going to get very busy with that. Bill Derbyshire, good to see you. Thank you for coming on the live chat by video and staying with it so long last night. Bless your heart. Digitech Drop is definitely a useful bit of kit. There we go. You see, this is what I'm saying. It's not infallible. It's not perfect, but for certain functions, it does the job. It does the job. It doesn't cost a lot of money, you know. Hoyt, do you have a go-to bass plugin for tracking? No, don't do anything really with plugins, and I'm not that way inclined. I don't do any recording. I haven't done any recording. The only recording I've done in recent times was about 5 years ago, not here. It was recording the audio for the Uncle Funk video performance that we did during lockdown. And before that, last bit of recording I did before that would have been 2016, and before that 2011. Yeah, I tend not to do stuff. I don't have a recording setup here. I use Audacity for what I need to do for the YouTube videos, but I don't do remote recording. I maybe could. It just feels to me like the whole market is so oversaturated with people who aren't bass players saying they can do bass lines and create bass tracks for people, and it's like, I don't like getting into situations where it's a race to the bottom for the cheapest price, which is generally what it's become over here in the UK. So there are people saying they'll do bass lines for 10 quid. It's like, I'm not doing it for 10 quid. And if that's what the deal is, then I'm not really that bothered, to be brutally honest. Not my thing. Sorry, that's probably a bit of a disappointing reply, but it's the truth. I tend not to do stuff when I'm recording. So I did some stuff for a guy called John Beadle. There's 2 videos up here on his YouTube channel, Songs from the Shed, and I did a track by Spandau Ballet called Only When You Leave, and I did Voulez-Vous by ABBA. And tomorrow and Friday I've got 3 other tracks to do for him. And really with that, I just take 3 basses, I plug into my Aguilar Tone Hammer preamp pedal, that goes into the audio interface, into the PC, record it on Audacity. I then record a video of me playing it to the playback of me recording it. I pick which of the 3 instruments sounded best, and that's what he gets. That's about as complicated as I get with home recording, to be fair. That's about it. Lewis, you're sure your pedal board is wrecked after the new bass and amp? Well, you're going to find some different tones and some different sounds if you've got all new gear. So, you know, it's no bad thing to take your pedal board apart and rejig it. It's always a thing. J-Bean, you have the MXR distortion pedal. Very good. It's a great preamp DI. There we go. Keep hold of those sort of pedals. They will always come in useful. Lewis, when considering distortion on a pedal, remember that distortion is an amp of maximum level. You like to use legendary circuits that pay homage to a legendary amp. Very good. If you're watching this, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. It really helps me, helps the channel, helps the video. I don't tend to ask for people to subscribe to the channel. You can do, of course, if you wish to do so. That's very good. I think subscriber numbers are vanity metric. They have no consequence over people watching videos and how long they watch them for, which are actually the 2 important metrics here on YouTube. So if you wish to subscribe to the channel, feel free. You'll get notified when I produce new content. But the best thing you can do for me, the videos, the channel as a whole, just give the videos thumbs ups would be fabulous. And leave comments. Comments are fabulous as well. JB, what's the standard pay you get per gig? Depends what the gig is. You're trying to get your fellow musician buddies to start pushing for more than $100 a night. Seems like there's been the standard for guys like us for too long. It's been roughly a standard here in the UK, certainly in London, since about the 80s. So before I turned pro. I've done gigs for less. Now, since we came out of COVID, I kind of set myself a rule that I wouldn't do gigs for less than 200 quid unless I really like the band and the gig wasn't far away, lots of traveling. Generally, I start like 200 quid, 200 pounds if you're not in the UK. But generally, most of the bands I play with, the fee is a lot more than that. I'm at an age now where I'm doing a YouTube channel. I'd rather put my most valuable commodity isn't money, it's time. I'm 53. I want to put effort into the YouTube channel to get this momentum, which thankfully is starting to happen. And you can go and do 6-7 gigs a week, but you won't get anywhere on your YouTube channel because you're not here working on it. And it takes time and it takes effort. So I'm trying to run my musical career and gigging alongside doing my YouTube channel, because for me, over the long term, hopefully this will pay out. So generally every gig offer I get now, I weigh it up. I want to know where it is, who it's with. I want to know who's on the gig, where it is, what's the material, how long are we playing, is there travel, money, travel costs are reimbursed, and what the fee is. And out of that bunch of information, I'll weigh it up. And the lovely position I'm in is that I'm not officially in any band. I'm basically a gun for hire. So I turn up, I play, I go. I don't get involved in band politics. I've done my years of that. I've done my years of running bands, dealing with musicians, organizing people. I don't have any of that anymore. I literally get a booking. I choose whether I'm going to do it, get the information nearer the time. I turn up, I play, I get paid, and I go, and that's it. And I look at all the criteria, and then I'll decide if I'm going to do it. Because I'm not in any band, I don't have to do any gig. I get to pick and choose what I do, and it's a nice position to be in. But I never let people down. That's the difference. So if I say I'm going to do it, I'm there. There's only a rare occasion where if I'm booked, like the band I work with most regularly offer me the most work. If we've got a run of gigs, and say I've got a gig, or say I've got a gig with another band, and then a gig comes in with my regular band, and it's on a different night, that's cool. But if then the regular band ended up with like a run of 2 or 3 gigs, and based on location, it does not make any sense for me to do the first gig I took. Generally, I'm on very good terms with all the people that I play with, and invariably on those other projects, they have a list of depths for every position anyway. So normally I give people loads and loads of time, probably a couple of months. I just say, look, I'm being offered 3 or 4 gigs here. You're offering me 1 gig, but the problem I've got is that if I came to do your gig, I've literally got to travel hundreds of miles from the opposite end of the country to come and do this one, to then go all the way back, which makes no sense. So I need to give that gig back to you, but I'm always sort of fairly respectful. I'll try and do it with as much time as possible. Try not to leave people in the lurch ever, if I can. So yeah, always pushing for higher fees. Here in London, some of the pub and club gigs have gone less than £75. It's crazy. And there aren't a lot of those gigs around anymore, which is why I've kind of dropped out of a lot of that scene. I tend not to do a lot of it now. James Howard, you still use your Zoom B3? Works for you? And it's okay. Good for you. Use what works for you in the projects you work in. Yeah, the Zoom B3 is very decent, very good. Michael Anthony, we seem to be crossing paths regularly. Hope you're all good. Just popped by for a sandwich, see a gorgeous alembic, yes. Mark King signature standard. LEDs. Crown headstock. Very nice. Through neck. It's a 1999 build. I'm not the original owner. It went through 1 or 2 other owners, but it's here with me. Had it for 10 years. Fabulous. Dawson, what is a JD base and how would it compare to a Fender? Very radically different. They were made by John Diggins, hence the name JD, and based in Birmingham. John passed away in January last year. And they were originally designed to be an alternative for bass players in the UK who couldn't get hold of alembics, but they're very different. The circuitry is different, the pickups are different. Similar sort of body styling, through neck, big headstock, ebony fingerboard. Mark King, level 42, of course, and George Anderson from Shack Attack. Both of them have their own signature models. They're the kind of main exponents. JD also built Tony Iommi's SG copy, which is a JD. So you may have seen and heard that before. But JD basses are very different to Fenders. The only real similarity is the fact that when you look at JD, you think it's 2 humbuckers. They're not. They're split coil pickups like you would get in a Precision, but there's 2 of them. So it's like if you see a bass with 2 split coil Precision pickups, that's what a JD is, just with humbucker housings. So the housing goes over the top of the coil, or the coils go into the housing and then they get screwed in. Very hi-fi. Listen to level 42 from 1980 through till 85, which is World Machine. 87, although most of the Running in the Family album is status bass. After that, Mark moved over to the Alembics, but he's now using them again since we came out of lockdown. So if you look at any level 42 videos since 2021, Mark's using JD. So that, I'll tell you what, I'll find you a perfect example. Just bear me a minute, Dawson. I'll find you an example. Here we go. I think it's that. Just bear me a minute. I just need to check the audio. Yeah, that's it. Now, let me share that to you. This is what you want, Dawson. Click on this link. So when he's doing the slapping in the solo, he's got a flanger going on. But some of the tone is very much JD. The flanger just makes it stand out even more. So happy viewing. You'll hear the difference with a Fender. Bear in mind, Mark always plays JDs with light gauge strings, 3090s. They're very twangy, very trebly. Lewis, it's pretty much my go-to idea when making a decision when purchasing effect pedals like Eventide for delay, because I can't afford the 100,000 plus price tag. Budget defines everything, Lewis. Rock 3T, did you ever get to see Jeff Buckley play? No, not really on my list of people I followed, really. Very aware of his work, but no, didn't see him. Did I ever get to see? Oh, you've asked me that twice. Okay. Stacey, oh golly, yes, bring up that wage. Yes, once you settle on a low fee, it's near impossible to increase it in the future. Been down that road. That argument I've had many occasions, and there have been some times in bands where we've basically been told you have to accept the lower fee or you won't be playing here anymore. And if you rely on that venue and you know you're getting private bookings out of it where you can charge a whole lot more, it pays to keep that gig, even though you've got to do it at a lower fee. But again, a lot of that sort of stuff I'm not even involved with anymore. Sorry, there's that link, Dawson. Let's have a look here. JB, got a jet. I did subscribe. Thank you very much. Bless you. So I'll talk to you again. Absolutely. We do a regular live chat on Tuesday nights from 8 p.m. UK time. If you come in here on a Brooks's Base Corner, go to the live chat playlist and you'll see all the upcoming live chats. I've booked them in till the end of September, but it's every Tuesday from 8 p.m. Come and join us. It's good. It's a good hang, as it was last night with Lee Sklar. Lewis, so for yourself, getting a new pedal is a golden opportunity for experiences on legendary equipment, since we have like hundreds of brands and models. Quite right. Jedi Burrito, good to see you. What's my favorite cheese? Cheddar. Extra mature, lots of flavor, and it has to melt well on toast. All right. Gareth Harrison, good to see you. Thank you for all the messages today. Bless your heart. Stacey, what cheese do you use in your Jedi burritos? Now, there's a question. The Force and cheddar. Well, there we are. See, people of taste here. Stacey, most excellent. Sounds cheesy. Lewis, I'm glad I paid for it a long time ago. Quite right. I can't wait for you to get your Dingwall, Lewis. I think you're going to really love. I presume you've played some Dingwalls. You haven't just ordered this on spec, have you? You are aware of the whole multi-scale. What's the word? Fan fret. Thank you. I can remember the fanned bit. So my advice to you, if you haven't played one for a reasonable amount of time, when you look at it from the front, maybe you've got the bass on, you look at it and it's like, oh my God, I can't get it. When you're playing it, just look at the fingerboard from the side and the fret edges. Don't look at the sloping nature of the frets as you look over the side onto the front facing of the fingerboard. Just look at the side and your fingers will do the rest. It will become very instinctual. It's not a problem, right? But just bear that little nugget in mind when you get it. Zuma's Music, good to see you. Since you've reviewed tons of stuff, yep, what are your thoughts on Maxima Gold strings? Do you know what? I haven't played any of them probably since mid-90s. Used to get basses in the bass center, would have them fitted. I've never bought a set. I always thought they were way too expensive for what they were. Fine if you're on an endorsement deal. You don't see them very often now. And I'm never convinced they took off that much. The big exponents here in the UK were John Entwistle, obviously, and Brian May. And Brian still uses them. John did up until the point he died. What were their tonal profile? Basically, kind of like rotor sound, round wound, a lot of harmonic information, a lot of clarity, a lot of bite, a lot of snap. But the idea was they were gold. They would last a bit longer. This was in the days before coated strings. Maxima Golds have been around since the late 80s. And yeah, the idea was that they were like the best strings you could buy, but I was never convinced that was the case. I think the whole idea was that because they were had a gold wrap that they would last longer. The only way you can know is to buy a set and try them out for yourself. But again, take them out on 10 gigs and see where you are after 10 gigs. I can get, as I said last night on the live chat, or it might be last week's live chat, it all blurs into one. On a 2/2 headstock arrangement like that, Status, GB, these Spectres, on a set of Road Sound round wound swing bass 66 4000 steel round wound strings, I'll get about 30 gigs. If I go to a 4 in a row or 3/2, no 3/2 is like this, but if I have a 4 or a 3/1 like a Stingray or a Fender style arrangement, I'll get about 10 gigs. I don't know what the big difference is. Seems to be something to do with anchoring points and the nut, but that's all I know. But if you don't believe how many gigs I can get out of a set of strings, go and have a look. In fact, I'll put it on here. Bear me a minute. Where's that? There we go. We did a series here on the channel called the Bass String Experiment series. Where is it, Michael? That's not it. Hang on, I'll get you a link. And we put one set of Rotor Sound swing bass strings on my Status Empathy to see how long we could get them to last for, and they did 73 gigs. Here we go. And I want that. Let's get a shareable link. That's the fella. Here you go. Check this out. All the videos are here on this playlist. Enjoy. Dawson saying thank you. Lewis, never played one before. Okay. A Geddes, good to see you again. Hope you're well. Rock 3T is my first time tuning into the stream. Thank you. I have to say I'm very impressed with everyone's maturity. It's because we run a nice, friendly, happy ship. I don't tolerate nonsense. I don't have time for people coming in on a vertical live stream because they've come in through YouTube shorts, spouting profanity and being rude and obnoxious. Generally, people come on my channel and you're rude, obnoxious, or a pain in the ass, you're bombed out, and that's it. You don't come back. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can either, if you're first time on a chat, you sit, get an idea of the flow, you got something to add to the chat, fabulous. You want to get in a conversation, it's all good. You come on here screaming and shouting, you're out the door. I don't have time for it. And I want people to come in to Brooks's Bass Corner live chats and feel safe and secure, and they can have a grown-up chat about basses, amps, effects. Last night we had Lee Sklar on. Some of you are probably going, who the hell's Lee Sklar? Phil Collins's bass player, Toto's bass player, James Taylor's bass player, currently out with Lyle Lovett, played on probably close to 3,000 albums. The guy's a living legend. He came onto my live chat because we know each other, and I had guaranteed him we wouldn't have people being rude and obnoxious. So thank you. Thank you for saying that, Rock 3T. You just earned a subscriber. Thank you very much. You're very welcome to come in on the live chats every Tuesday from 8 o'clock. We have a very nice community that I'm trying to build here. So you're very welcome. Stacey, Lewis, definitely need pics of your whale pool bursting when it's delivered. New bass day, man. I know. I'm excited for him. I'm pleased we've got Lewis in for an evening. The first 5-string ever for you. That dingle was totally new for me. I think you will love it, but don't be put off the moment you get it and it's the fan fret thing. You just start playing and just look at the fingerboard edge. Do not start looking down, because the way the frets fan out will put you off. Your finger, the fan fret thing follows how your fingers and your hand are laid out. So if you just look at the fret edges on the side of the neck, your fingers, which is what you do regularly with any other bass, it's no different on a dingle. That's where the fret edge is. That's where you're going to put your finger. And you'll be surprised. You automatically do it without thinking. I think you'll love it. I think if it's combustion, have you got the EMG circuit in, or have you opted for a tone capsule, dark glass tone capsule? Generally, the NG series get the tone capsule, and the combustions have EMGs, or an EMG circuit. You will when you get it protected arrival in the end of the month. Oh, there we go. Michael Anthony, keep out the riffraff. That's what I try to do. Lewis, most definitely nothing but love at this channel. Always, always. When I've done impromptu live chats before like this in recent weeks, we get flooded with a load of idiots. And like I say, you come on here screaming and shouting and, you know, being rude, you're going. I'm not having you sort of posting your bile on my live chat feed. It's not happening. And I'm quite happy to bomb them out. The world has billions of people on it. A couple of idiots ain't going to make much difference to the viewing of my channel, frankly. Gareth Harrison, I just had got. Okay. TC Unitune clip tuner. Got to say, it's the best clip-on tuner I've come across for bass so far. I love these, the Dunlop ones. I got 3 of these now, and they're just great. But if the TC is working for you, then fabulous. But I do like this. Can't always remember what all the buttons do, but it works a treat. I've been using this for like 10 years. Like I say, I got 3 of them. One at home, one in my gig bag, one I keep as a spare in the drawer. Stacy, there you go, Lewis. I think we're all pleased as punch for you. Absolutely. And a new amp and cabinet as well. It's gonna be, you're gonna love it. You'll be reborn as a bass player. Michael Anthony, if someone wants riff raff, go listen to P. Diddy. Well, quite. Lewis Wingrove, great advice. EMG, yeah, I think that's right. Hoyt, Michael Anthony, do you play Zydeco? You guys can message between yourselves there, that's fine. ESP32_W room 32. Hello. Hey, how many guitars do you own? 44. What is their different uses? Loads of different bands that I play with. Lots of things. Some have been acquired over time for specific projects. Some were bought because they're investment opportunities. Some were bought because I'd always wanted one, and then sometimes they've become my main bass. One was a custom order. I've only bought one custom ordered bass. They all sound different. Even when I've got similar models by the same company, none of them sound the same. Everything's different. If you don't believe me, let me just call up a little video, although you won't be able to hear it because I'm just talking about the bass. It's not. There's a video here exactly for someone like you. Just bear me a moment. Which is all about my bass collection as it was in January 2023. So at that point, I had 33 basses. So like I say, it's now 44, I think. Anyway, there's a link here if you want to check that out. Be my guest. It's about an hour long. It's the most viewed video here on the channel. So if you like looking at gear and people's bass collections, that video is for you. Michael Anthony, some guy, so his name's Hoyt, Mike, so you can chat to each other. I'd love to play Zydeco, but not yet. They have some stomping bass lines. I don't know what this is. Do you know I live in Louisiana? What's Zydeco? Inform me, Hoyt. Educate me. Gareth, prefer a pedal for gigging. Of course, yes, same here. Just for the muting option, but always have one in the gig bag and when at home. Very often backstage, if I'm doing a theatre show, especially with Uncle Funk, we're doing festivals, I'll have a clip-on tuner on the headstock before we go on. because I can't always guarantee I'm going to get tuned up before the end of the intro track. So I'll tune up as we're walking on, take the clip-on tuner off, put it on my belt. Seems to work. Works for me anyway. Okay. Hi, I was eavesdropping when you introduced yourself. Yes, sir. I jams a deco bass. Okay, cool. It's clearly something I don't have a clue what it is. Loose Wingrove, this will never be modified, just keeping it stock. Very good. Except for the shallow locking straps for safety reasons. Okay, fair enough. Michael Anthony, some guy cool. Yeah. Tawhid Sheikh, can you play any One Direction song, please? Don't do play-alongs, my friend. Not getting a copyright strike or a copyright claim for anyone. B Miss, were you the singer in the band The Police? When I used to have blonde hair, and it wasn't so long ago, many people used to say, you look like Sting. I don't. I don't have his voice. I wish I did. And I certainly wish I had his bank balance. But I will take that. At the age of 53, if you think I look like Sting, I'll take that. I'll take that. I've played many Police songs, but not sung them. I can't sing in Sting's range. Most blokes can't. Some guy pronounced Z-Deco. Z-Deco, Zydeco. I don't know. Zyduco. Cajun. Right, okay, fair enough. Yeah, Rock 3T, what realm of motion in music do you think hasn't been explored enough? Funkiness. It's time for funk to make a huge comeback in my book, I would say. Time, especially with Sly Stone having passed away. And, you know, people from the 70s, late 60s, Stevie Wonder's not getting any younger. James Brown's gone. George Clinton's not a young man. Prince has gone. Larry Graham's in his 80s, I think. Tower of Power all getting on, you know, all that stuff. So I'd like to see funk make a comeback, especially for all us bass players. It'd be great. More funk stuff in the charts. Can you imagine? It'd be great. Absolutely. Stacey, oh, too right, full agreement. James Brown revival. Yeah, I'm all right for that. Green Hub, you just got yourself bombed straight off. First message, you're gone. Bye. Don't do politics on my channel. Religion, politics. Bring that to my door. You're going straight back out it with my boot up your backside. Michael Anthony, good call, Stacey Ann. Are you a Southern girl? North Carolina. James Howard, I agree. Funk is due a big comeback. I'm ready to go. Stacey, I am Michael Anthony. Right, Rock 3T. Adamant was my first big hero. 1980, 1981, 82. I had the makeup kit. I watched everything with Adamant on the telly. I've got interviews with him on the radio, recorded on cassette. I had scrapbooks, I had posters. All of it virtually is gone. I've got my records. I've got the cassettes. I found a few things in my loft the other day, but most of it got either stolen or binned when we moved from Scotland to London 40 years ago. So all my Adamant stuff's gone. My other connection to Adamant, I know or knew two of his bands. So I knew Tom Edwards, who died, sadly, about 8 years ago, I think, 2017. Tom used to play on the London cover circuit. He did a couple of gigs with me. Lovely guy. Massive loss. And also, up until very recently, his drummer. Andy Wood. Hang on, get his surname right. It'd be good. Bear with me a minute. Andy Woodard. Andy and I've played in bands on the cover circuit. And Sadly, Andy's got motor neurone disease. I think it's Woodard. I got his name wrong. Why isn't it? Andy Woodard, yeah. Young guy. MND, motor neurone disease. Very sad. Andy was a great drummer. Lovely guy too. Stay in touch on Facebook with him. But yeah. Zuma's Music. We need another Jamiroquai album. Yeah, they're touring here in December. Ever interview any of the bassists? Yes. There's an interview with Paul Turner. Obviously, you'll need video details for that. So let me just get that for you. Which was 10 years ago I did that. And I met Stuart Zender back in 2016 at the Warwick Base Camp in Germany. And he flew in literally about 6 hours before I flew out. And I said to him, I'm Mike from Bass Guitar Magazine. He said, I know exactly who you are. I love your writing, man. I said, I'd love to interview you for the mag. He said, well, let's do it. And every time I've tried to contact him, I get no comeback. So I've just left it. And obviously I don't write for the magazine anymore. So, but he knows where I am online. He's got my email address and stuff, but I don't think he's really interested in doing interviews and all that. So shame. But anyway, there's a link to my interview with Paul Turner back in January 2015. If you want to check that out, feel free. Fed B, how you doing? Hi, do you know some Smashing Pumpkins bass lines? No, I was never a fan. Never a fan of their stuff. Kind of passed me by. Michael Anthony, oh, you're near those gorgeous Blue Ridge Mountains, Stacey. Lewis Wingrove, rules are easy. Love and respect. We need enjoyment, no heavy topics, correct. Unless it's about old cabinets. Heavy enough for all of us. I'm surprised you haven't got an old Trace Elliott rig, Lewis. That'd be right up your street. Gav Harrison, my band wants to attempt Aqualung by Jethro Tull acoustically with a banjo or mandolin. You'll have to do some banjo playing on the live chat. I'll happily watch and listen to that, Gareth. Excellent. Rock 3T, pronounced rocket. Oh, okay, fine. Okay. Hoyt, Dawson Walters, see you later, Mike. Keep funky. Always keep it funky, Dawson. Maybe see you next Tuesday. That I don't mean it like that before someone goes, you've just sworn at him. You know what I mean. Tuesday is our live chat night. That's what I mean. James Howard, I had to leave it about 10 p.m. as early start. Probably one of the best yet. It was very good last night. Viewing figures were off the chart. The most watched live chat I've ever done. Zuma's Music, thank you. Looking forward to watching it. It's there to be enjoyed. There's over 700 videos now on the channel. So, you know, we're at the end of this month, we'll have been going for 5 years. There's a lot of content. You're going to find something, hopefully, that you like here on the channel. So always feel free to delve into the older stuff. There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of it dates back to my days writing for the mags. So most of the interviews were done on the mag's behalf. I just kept all the audio files. So, yeah. Stacey, you're in the Sandhills near Pinehurst. You used to live near the mountain foothills back in the day. There you go. Lewis, only because I'm a late bloomer, new bass player. You do what you're doing, Lewis. You're fine. Gareth, you enjoyed it last night. Well, thank you. Yeah, we did. This is why I'm doing this live chat. I've been spending all day going through doing the remix shorts for the shorts on the channel, going through doing the timestamps, and even running the video at double speed. It still took me till 5 o'clock to get it all done today. And it occurred to me how fast we were rattling through the conversation last night, really quick, not just with Lee, but the whole thing, 4 of us on screen, the messages were rampant, and it was great. That's exactly what the live chat needs to be. But I realized people were asking questions and asking for advice, and we were going so quick I couldn't answer the questions properly. So I thought, do you know what? While I've got the time, let's just go on live, and if anyone wanted to bring up anything that we were talking about last night and wanted a better explanation, we can do it. It's a little less manic. It's an impromptu live chat, you see. All bassists are welcome here, old timers and newbies. We don't discriminate. No, we don't. You can always learn something. I learned so much doing the live chats. You guys bring so much to the table. And I'm a bit like a sponge. I always think you can always learn something more, so it's all good. I really wish I collected guitars when you were younger, Fender and Gibson, but everyone did, Lewis. Really. I mean, we were talking last night about PVT 40 basses. About 10, 15 years ago, they were £300-400 here in the UK. Now they're over £1,000. Everyone you see in the shops, on eBay, bass forums here in the UK, PVT 40 bass were always over £1,000 now. Stacey Lewis, you are in good company being a late bloomer. Not to ever worry. There you go. Just a money standpoint. I'm going to keep playing for the rest of my life. It'll keep you young and it'll keep you mental stimulation for your brain. Finger independence. You can never stop learning songs. Music crosses barriers and physicality. It's an emotional thing, spiritual thing, without getting too heavy on you, of course. New reality in Barcelona. Play Metallica, nothing else matters. No, I do have an alembic, but nah, we ain't playing. I don't do playthroughs. I'm not going to get a copyright strike or a copyright claim just because someone wants me to play a song. It's not happening. What's that? Cool. Yeah, sorry to disappoint you. New reality in Barcelona. Sorry, just we don't do playthroughs here on the channel. This is I run the YouTube channel as a business. It's not a hobby, and I can't afford, having put in 5 years worth of effort, suddenly get hit with copyright strikes and copyright claims from Metallica because you'd like me to play a Metallica song. It's nothing against you. We don't do it. We don't do it. Gareth Harrison, wasn't Nothing Else Matters played in a fretless? Possibly. I'm not a big Metallica fan, so I don't know. I'm not a Metallica fanboy. But, you know, Jason Newsted played alembics for a significant amount of his Metallica career, of course. And he sold last year when he did his big bass clear out. He sold a 20th anniversary bass, one of which I've got down there. I think he got nearly $20,000 for his one. I said, I'll have a bit of that, but I won't because I want to keep the bass. But Lewis, I can catch because of learning bass. My left hand is able to sign my name now. Very good. Armand, do you love? We don't do religion or politics, so you can go. Bye. And that's how it works. You see, people come on here and they want to talk crap. They're straight out the door, never to be seen of or heard from again. I love it because they don't think. They're used to jumping on channels and being a pain in the backside. So now Armin is going to sit there. He's going to be banging away furiously at his keyboard, being rude and obnoxious. And we ain't going to see any of it. It's fabulous. If you want, Armin, I'll report your profile and you'll get shut down. How about that? Michael Anthony, that would actually be cool to get a copyright strike from Metallica. Nah, it wouldn't. Bragging right. No, I do this for a business. It's not a hobby. And I've not put 5 years of my life into this channel for it to get taken away because someone wants me to play Metallica songs. It's not happening. Zoomer's Music, another interview question. Ever have a chat with Lee Gorman from Bow Wow Wow? That's another Adam Ant connection there. No, I haven't. I'm very aware of who Bow Wow Wow were. It was the original band of Adam and the Ants, pretty much. But no, never chatted to him. I don't think we even interviewed him at the mag. I don't think, or it might have been before I joined. I can't remember. I'd need to go back through back issues, but no, never spoken to him. Big wall player, of course. Just checking my email, see if Mr. Sklar's replied to my email earlier in the day. No, he hasn't. Uh, there we go. Yeah, we got there. Farabi Aslanigan. Hi, bro. Hey, how you doing? Michael Anthony. Adam Ant was a guest on an episode of Northern Exposure. I know of Northern Exposure, but I've never watched it, not knowingly. He did a lot of acting stuff, as did a lot of British pop stars through the mid 80s through to like late 90s. They needed a few bob in their pocket. It's out of tune. That's good, isn't it? Let's tune her up. It's all the heat we've had. I'm not surprised to tune it. Yeah, geez, flat as a pancake. Oh, girl, in you go. There we are. Yeah, the D was down to C sharp. Woo! We've had such high temperatures here. I'm not surprised. Oh dear. Yeah, they're all out. It's all out. Either that or I tuned it down for something. There we go. Should be a bit better. At least it was out of tune with itself in relation to each string. Oh, I do it myself. I had a clip-on tuner. God, these strings are dead. It's like playing a tramp's vest. Not that I'd know, of course. What are we doing here? It is coming up towards 10:30. I'm going to have to go shortly because I've got an early start tomorrow. Got a lot of packing. Any more questions? Anyone want to ask anything while I'm here? Might do another one of these on Friday. We'll see. Tomorrow I'm out most of the day dealing with my mum down the south coast tomorrow. Rocket, James Brown's Payback. Now there's a track. There's an album. Was an amazing song with a great bass line. Wouldn't you agree? I totally agree. I'm a huge advocate of James Brown. I've got quite I wouldn't say a hefty catalogue. I've got quite a lot of his stuff. Having said that, the man released an album, like 2 or 3 albums every year through the 60s and 70s. So I don't have it on Spotify. So I love James Brown. When I was at university in my first, second and third years, I built up quite a back catalogue because a lot of his albums hadn't come out on CD and they were being released. And in fact, you like a bit of James Brown, I've got just the video for you. Here we go. This is for you. Pin your logos back and check that out. That one's for you, all right? Lewis, the funny thing is, get to wait 24 hours before I can open the new bass to adjust to your environment. Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, you could actually take it out and leave it in a room, not in direct sunlight, and let it acclimatize to the temperature and humidity of where you are, is what I was advised by Sweetwater. Then follow their thing, because if there is an issue, not that they can check, but do what they suggest and hopefully there won't be any issues. You still have your mum? Yeah, I'm a dad, but my mum's going blind, sadly, and we've got sensory, can't remember what the woman's called, sensory nurse kind of thing coming tomorrow. She visited last week, and she's coming back to do some more stuff tomorrow. So I'm going down the south coast for about 8 hours. So I may do a live chat when I come back, or if I'm down there and there's some dead time, I'll do that. But we'll see how it all pans out. And then I've got a gig at the weekend with Uncle Funk's Disco Inferno, playing down at Richard Hammond's place in Wales, and all the disco classics. I may, if I do a live chat on Friday, I may do a play along, but just with the bass line. We might get away with that. And I'll set up a metronome. So maybe I'll have a live track from a performance in my ears, and I'll play along, and you can guess the bass line. How about that? You won't be able to hear the vocals and the rest of the music though. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. We'll see. I've got to put in a bit of practice at some point. Friday will be my day for doing that. So go get the fingers back up, because I haven't gigged since Saturday. So Michael Anthony, I'm sorry. Prayers and healing white energy to Mum Brooksy. Thank you. She's diabetic, and she's been losing her sight gradually over the past 2 years, although it's not necessarily because of diabetes. She's got cataracts, and the problem is, if they remove the cataracts, it's going to mean the macula in her eye degenerates even quicker than if they leave the cataracts in, but the cataracts are starting to completely destroy her sight. So it's a no-win situation, unfortunately. So we're sort of coming to terms with all the things we've got to do, and things we've got to do around where they live, and got to change, turning dials on washing machines and microwaves and cookers and all of that sort of thing. So anyway, not going to bang on about it. It's just something we've got to address and get on with. Was I a fan of the Jesus and Mary chain? No, I was never into indie stuff or goth stuff. Not my bag. Not my bag. I'm on the other side of the road, unfortunately. But thank you for asking. I appreciate that. So much that modern medicine can do, so much it can't. This is what it is. The woman came last week with some lamps and LED lights, and suddenly Mum said, I can read that. So there's possibilities. We might be able to keep her sight for a little bit longer, but we'll just have to see how things pan out. 'Tis what it is. 'Tis what it is. And we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. Jeffrey Boyle saw you on Phil DeHov's channel earlier. Hope you're well. You're just coming in as we're probably going to end this, but that's okay. There'll be other live chats. I'm quite getting into the swing of doing these impromptus through the week. It's quite good. See, tonight is a little tamer than last night. It's not all guns blazing. Also, we're not running it through StreamYard, so I'm not inviting people up, but this is a nice, cool hang. I quite enjoy it. If I can just get the audio thing working properly, and then we can do some bass. You can request basses from the collection, and I'll give you demos and let you hear the different sounds and tones and stuff. Ooh. Rocket, who was the hardest artist for you to cover? Do you mean playing cover songs, or do you mean interviewing? Joe Smith, how do I donate to help your channel? At the bottom of this live chat window, you'll see there's a text box that says chat. You'll then see a smiley face, which is the emoji icon. Next to that, you'll see a dollar symbol in a rectangle. That's super chat. Click on that, and you can decide how much you wish to donate. That's very kind of you, Joe Smith, if you go through with it. super chats. Every video here on the channel has the super thanks option, which is a dollar symbol in a love heart, which sits in the icon tray underneath the video window. So any videos you watch on the channel, if you, oh, cheers, mate. Okay. Well done. You caught me out. There we go. Hang on here. That was the hardest artist fit. Yeah. Rocket, if you respond to that question, did you mean me playing covers or me doing an interview? Hardest artist for you to cover musically? Usually it's the situation you're in. So if you're being asked to cover something and you really don't have very much time to learn it, I still say I did a Robbie Williams tribute, and I've not done one before, but I played various Robbie Williams songs, but I got called up at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning to say, are you gigging tonight? And I said, no. What's up? Oh, our bass player's done something to his leg and he can't play. Are you able to come and do a gig with us? And I said, well, where is it? And it was up north. I said, what's the deal? Oh, we got to get to ours, get in the van at 1 o'clock. I said, I've literally got 6 hours. How many songs? And it was like a lot of songs. But I actually quite fancied the challenge. I wouldn't do it now, but back then I did. And I wrote a load of cheat sheets out. And I said, are we providing PA? Yes. I said, can I stand on the right of the stage or the left of the stage, just behind where a PA speaker is? Yes, you can. I said, good, because I'm going to have all the cheat sheets there before we had iPads. And I'm going to have a big wad of gaffer tape, and I'm going to have all those charts there, and I'm going to flip them as we go. I said, it's the only way I'm going to be able to retain all that stuff. I said, the songs I know, but the songs I don't know, you're asking me to do album tracks and B-sides. I have no idea. I've probably never heard them. So I did it all, charted it all out, and it went swimmingly. So that the material wasn't hard, but trying to keep it all in there was hard. Then there was the time I did a 40 songs for a function band, and I got called up at about 10 o'clock the night before, and I was on a gig. The gig was the following night. The guy sent me through 2 MP3 files of the live performance, and I had to learn them from 6 o'clock in the morning until I left here at 1:30, and I had to get to Spalding in Lincolnshire. Quite a few of the songs I knew, but there was loads of stuff I didn't or had never played, and that was that. That was tricky, but it was a test of metal. You know, can you hold 40 songs, including some you've played, but a lot you haven't, in your head and learn them and do a good job? So it is what it is. But artist-wise, learning Green Day the first time was tricky because I'd never really done any pick playing, and the bass, I had to look a bit like him and have the bass low down and heavy gauge strings and picks. I was all about basses at waist height, not up here, but down at waist height, 40-100 strings, playing with fingers. That was a different thing. I'm trying to think. Usually it's the stuff at short notice. If I've got time to learn stuff, then there's no problem at all. Doing the Bonnie Tyler stuff should have been relatively easy had the people that were providing the CDs for me to learn from sent me stuff with bass track that you could hear. Unfortunately, they sent me a CD of all the songs I needed to learn, but you couldn't hear any bass on it. And their live versions were not the same as the original recorded bass line. So you had to learn the live version, which I couldn't hear. So that made that job very tricky. But we got there. But generally I can do most things. I don't do jazz. That's not my thing. I don't do metal. I don't do upright. So otherwise I do okay. You know, I can do what I need to do. Gareth, how can you tell if you said that one last night? He wears a cat flap on his head. Was it you that posted? It was you that posted that last night, yeah. Michael Anthony, that's right. Phil plays bass every day at 4:30 UK time. Oh, you don't call it 4:30? Yeah, we do. 16:50. No, it's 4:30 today, wasn't it? I thought he was on at 4, and I got ready to watch from 4, and he was on at 4:30. But there we are. Rocket, hardest artist for you to, yeah, done that one. Stacy, Joe Smith. Joe Smith's gone, banned from the channel. Michael Anthony, 4:30 UK time is 10:30 Central Time US for those suffering from the American educational system. Got to subtract 6. Sometimes I have to take off my socks to count. Gareth, you struggled with ska and reggae at first just because I wasn't used to playing it offbeat. Did you find that forum link I sent to you for Bass Chat, the reggae thread? Was that any use to you? I sent that to you a few months back. I didn't create any changes. Gareth, yes, it helped a lot. Thanks. Good. Birkin Bagdatley, do you have axe effects? No, I don't. I use individual pedals. Max Kadoyi, what do you think about basswood tone voice? Basswood's okay. The bass center Guy Pratt Betsy has a basswood body, and they will use that instead of alder because although obviously basswood is a little cheaper than alder, they found when they compared a prototype with a basswood body to the alder body, they couldn't really tell a significant tonal difference. So they went with the basswood to keep the prices down. And I have no issue with it. I do have another bass that's got a basswood body. The only thing I would say is it tends to be a bit soft. So if the strap buttons come out and the screw comes out, drilling it back in doesn't necessarily guarantee a tight connections. So generally anything like that, I'll put super glue in the hole, then screw the strap button in, and hopefully between the glue, the wood, and the screw, we have a tight connection there. Marcelo Suarez, good evening. You're a bass player here in Brazil. Good to see you. By all means, ask some questions. I'm going to be probably winding this down in about 5 minutes, but happy to take questions until then. We do a regular live chat on Tuesdays from 8 p.m. UK time. So this is like the after party from last night. Toothpicks and glue, that's one way. But if it's just a case that the screw has come out or you've taken the button out and the wood is a bit soft, you normally can just do super glue and screw the thing back in and it'll hold. It'll be fine. I've had that on a couple of bases. But where you end up where a screw is completely stripped out and taken the wooden material, then yeah, bunch of toothpicks or super glue, bunch of toothpicks, snap the tops off, screw your thing back in. Job's a good one. Although toothpicks aren't the strongest material to use, a bit of doweling is ideal. It's a stronger material, but obviously depends on the size of the hole and can you grind a piece of doweling down and fit that hole. But if you have the tools and the inclination, then it shouldn't be a problem. What would you like to ask Marcelo? Any questions? Anything about guitar, bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, bass accessories, great bass players, anything you wish. Can I play Stairway to Heaven? Yes, I can, but no, I won't. We don't do play-alongs for copyright purposes on this guitar. Yeah, you'd love me to, but I could, but I'm not going to. What bass model are you using? That lot and a bunch of others as well. I've got on an Alembic here, but I use Statuses, I use Spectres, GB guitars, Yamahas, Ibanez's, Fenders, Stingrays, Dingwalls. What's we got in there? Lakelands, Kabikis, whole load of different stuff. Different guitars for different projects, different sounds. Depends what I'm playing. Max Kadoy, ash or basswood? Ash. Ash has a better. I've got a. Oh, it's in the gig bag in the other room. I've got a Fender FSR 70s Precision with an ash body, and it is raucous. It is so different from all my other Precisions. The only problem with ash is it can be really heavy, and that one is. Swamp ash is lighter, but it doesn't necessarily have the same throatiness that a really good bit of ash has. Ash is going to be heavier, basswood is going to be lighter and a slightly more subdued voice. So it depends what you want. If weight is an issue, then you're going to want to go for basswood or swamp ash, but swamp ash is not necessarily cheap. Up to you. What you gain with one thing, you lose on another, usually. Gareth, you've used gaffer tape to hold a strap. I've known many guitarists do that, as you had nothing else. It can work. Doesn't always necessarily work there, though. You have to like double tape it, and then, yeah, it's not always, you're literally flying by the seat of your pants on that gig. Michael Anthony, no stairway, denied. Exactly. Correct. I'm not going to get copyright strikes and claims just because people want to hear me play a song. Ain't happening. Not this week. Max, thank you for information because I want to decide for buying a bass. Are there any other timber options? Or is it just ash and basswood? If you could have swamp ash, go for that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got about 6 basses made with swamp ash. It's great. Very lightweight, good resonance, good response, snappy and middly, with a kind of a smoother bottom end than you'll get with a piece of heavy ash. But it depends what tones you're after. If you get the tones right acoustically, then the electronics part becomes simple. If you pick a bass with loads of competing timbers that are trying to tonally walk over each other, no amount of electronics will help you. I know I've reviewed basses like that, where the maker has thrown every possible expensive option at it, and it's just a mess. Gareth, if they want to hear you play, they need to get to one of your gigs. Exactly. Marcelo, do you know Brazilian bass players? Not. I know one here in London, Keita Stoya, who lives in Ruislip. I know Keita. He does a load of Brazilian bands in town. Rocket, how do you feel about the price of good instruments being so high? All the prices have gone up since COVID. Everything's gone up so high, making it hard for so many young people to start bands. That isn't the issue. Prices of instruments. Here in the UK, the issue is having nowhere for them to play. That's the problem. Loads of pubs and clubs don't exist anymore. I look at the whole scene in London, Southeast, around the UK, and I don't know where young people are meant to play anymore and learn the skills to develop good bands. I don't. We've done this on the live chat before. If I go through my diary from 10, 15, 20 years ago, 80 to 90% of the venues that I used to play in don't exist. They're not there. And nothing has come in to replace them. So where are people meant to play? You can spend 10 years in your room practicing and getting good. Well, where are you meant to play? That's the problem. There are gigs, but what I'm saying is there isn't a bread and butter circuit where you could play 5 gigs in a week and do them in rotation every month. It's shrinking big time here in the UK. Lewis, is the new Ampeg Venture series any good? I don't have any experience of it. You'll need to check out some YouTube videos for that, sir. Max, I have 2 choices in my heart. I'll be Gene-Berg or Yamaha BB421. The Yamaha will be good, but it'll be heavy. A Gene-Berg, I don't know what that is. Lewis, the spec looks good regarding the Ampeg. Okay. Yamaha 412. So what's the Gene-Berg? Did you mean Sandberg? Jeffrey Boyle, Silky. Oh yes, Stacey, right, okay. Zoomer's Music. Back in the day, our band was produced by a fella named John Baxter from the band Reflex. I loved Reflex. Politics of Dancing was a great tune. Guess who their original drummer was? Mark King, of course. Yep. Yeah, I knew that. But thank you for invigorating that nugget of info so that people that didn't know will now know. They had a hit with Politics of Dancing around about 84, I think. And then had no other big hits. They were a bit of a one-hit wonder, although they've been going for years, but they kind of lost their way and didn't do much else, I don't think. Yeah. There we go. Please feel free, if you're watching this, give the video a thumbs up. It helps me, helps the video, helps the channel. Best thing you can do for any of the content here on Brooks's Bass Corner, give the videos a thumbs up or leave a comment or do both. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free to do. And every video benefits from thumbs ups and comments, sharing out to your friends on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. That's all helps. I can't tell you how much. It really does. It's made a big difference to my channel content over the past 5 to 6 weeks. Michael Anthony, not the Mark King. Yes, the Mark King. The same Mark King that's in my WhatsApp. Yeah, that Mark King. Zoom's Music. John recently moved back to London to say hello if you see him. Yeah, I don't know what he looks like. I remember, I think, did the singer of Reflex have a bald shaved head? I can't remember. It's a long time ago. It's 41 years ago. Rocket, how do you feel about Sex Pistols and Sid Vicious's bass player? Sid Vicious wasn't a bass player. He was a charlatan who managed to fall into that band and catch the crest of a wave. Glenn Matlock was the Sex Pistols bass player. Sid Vicious just looked the part. It was, pardon my language, a bit of a dick. Sex Pistols, revolutionary at the time they came out, but, you know, 1 or 2 albums was about all they had. These days, I was like 4 years old when they were out, you know. That's why Adam and the Ants were my thing, and I was already a fan of Queen in the 70s, but Adam and the Ants were the first sort of band that really sort of caught my attention as a fan. And then it was Duran Duran and Queen predominantly for the rest of my teenage years, and then other music came into it. Chic were always there, Earth, Wind and Fire were always there, because that was the music I heard on the radio all the time. Marcelo, bass model tips for beginners. Oof, bass model tips. What do you want to know? Fire the questions at me and I'll try and answer them as quickly as I can. Stacey, Politics of Dancing was a great roller skating tune. You know. Jeffrey saying hello to Mike. Abraham Matter, good to see you. How would you suggest learning bass? How long you got? Tell you what, Abraham, come on to Tuesday's live chat, 8 o'clock UK time. Bring that question with you, and I could do a whole 3-hour live chat on that. Bring a pad of paper and a pen, and I'll tell you. How about that? Is that a deal? In fact, if you go through onto the channel, go into the live chat playlist, search out live chat 121, which is next Tuesday's live chat. There's a little box that says notification on. Press it and you'll get a notification 15 minutes before we go live. If you come on to Tuesday's live chat at 8 p.m. UK time, I will go through all of that with you. We'll make it the topic for the whole night. Abraham Matter. Remember that, Stacey? Remember that, Gareth? Abraham Matter. You want to talk about how to learn bass? I'll tell you. We'll get you up and running. You could be out gigging within a month. Guarantee it. Michael Anthony. Sid Vicious looked like a feral alley cat. He wasn't that good. Max. I play music in Thailand. Cool. I have a problem about improvising show, but can't do it because I'm still new. It's practice. You learn it over time. I don't know what I should do to start. Again, Max, come on to Tuesday's live chat. I'll give you some pointers and we'll get going. And also check out Phil DeHov's. So Phil, Phildehovre. He does a daily live chat on his channel from 4:30 UK time. He will get you inspired to improvise and teach you stuff. But I can give you some pointers if you want to come on to Tuesday's live chat. There's a lot of stuff to go into there, and I don't have the time to do it tonight. But if you come in on Tuesday's live chat, both you, Max, and Abraham, I can give you a load of hopefully helpful advice, information, and some pointers will get you out there doing what you want to do. Michael Anthony, no disrespect though, he was a good-looking feral alley cat. Not sure about that. Gareth, practice, practice, practice. Exactly, and then practice a bit more, and then go away and do a bit more practice. Lewis, most bands had fake bass players, as I learned later in life. Well, no Lee, no Motown players meant no pop bass lines for a lot of albums. Thank goodness for the studio musicians. It's a different time now, very different. You got suspended from your high school band for improvising during a march. That'll be what happens. Practice makes perfect. You got to take risks sometimes. Yes, that's true. You got to do what's right for what you're playing. Song comes first every time. It's not a personal, pardon the language, YouTube, it's not a personal wankathon. Too many bass players don't get that. They don't get the gist. You've got to make the song sound right. If people aren't dancing, you aren't doing your job right. Simple as. There he is, Mr. Pink Bassman Music. Should be Pink. We're about to go, actually. We're dropping off very shortly. I've got to get some sleep because I'm off down to see my mum in the morning. So, busy old day. Thank you very much for your efforts last night, by the way. A fine job, as always. Nathan and Bella just messaged me on Facebook. Good chat. Thank you, my man. Gareth watched a Scots bass lesson and they managed to get hold of Jason Newsted's 10-string alembic. Scott can do whatever he wants. He can buy anything he wants. It doesn't surprise me anymore. So the rest of us who are just sort of trawling along the seabed, we can only aspire to get to those levels. So Lewis, much love for all. Thank you very much for that. That's all right. Let us know when that bass arrives. So end of the month, yeah? Well, I'll tell you what, that might tie in with our fifth anniversary show towards the end of the month. So maybe it'll all tie in very nicely. Keep us posted, Lewis. Don't be a stranger. You know where we are. Marcelo, a curiosity, what model of bass is hanging on the wall? The white one, that's a Lodestone Primal Pro. So Lodestone were Ashdown's first attempt to do basses back in 2009, 2010. So as you will no doubt know, Mark Gooday, the boss of Ashdown, was originally one of the big bosses at Trace. And in 1995, Trace Elliott, along with Rob Green at Status, created the T-Bass, which was a 15th anniversary instrument because Trace Elliott had never done instruments. They made 15 4-strings, 15 5-strings. I have one of the 4s. Yeah. It was never meant to be a production model, but the interest was so great that they did. They only ran till 1999, and then Rob Green retired the model. He reintroduced it around 2009 with a graphite neck instead of a wooden neck. But Mark Gooday from 2006 had already started to hatch plans about having Ashdown's own Lodestone range. He came here and borrowed that bass. It went off to the Czech Republic, came back. Those basses came out 2009, 2010, basically a super jazz. They did a couple of models that just had a split coil precision pickup. Most of them had 2 EMG single coils. The preamp, I am convinced, is the same as the Spectre tone pump. It's based on a particular generic circuit from a European preamp designer. Someone told me, I can't remember what it is. And they did a whole load of them. At one point, I had 4 of them. Now I've got 2. So that one stayed as it is. It's white with gold hardware, very Larry Graham. And I have here, I'll take the alembic off because it's going to be a bit difficult otherwise. I'll show you. There we go. Nice snug fit. Right, I have a Sunburst one here, which was the same as the white one. Oh. And then I decided to have it upgraded with a set of Martin Sims Super Quad pickups, and it's got a John East Uni pre-circuit in there. So instead of 2 single coils, it now, so if you don't know what these are super quads. So in each pickup there are 4 coils using a color based switching system. So these switches have 3 positions. Down, the LED's red for split coil. In the middle they go green for single coil, and up they go blue, which is a humbucker. So using the pickup pan, I can call into operation either or both of these pickups, set to whatever pickup layout I want. So loads of different tones. So that's a Lodestone. So it's very Mark Gooday, always been interested in racing cars and Lotus. He's got connections there. So there's all this sculpted look, and you've got the 3D headstock design which came from the T-base, and yeah, but very nice, very good. And that's what the one hanging on the wall is, but in its original configuration. That's what that is. Hang on, here we go. Right, Stacey, so good to see you. Lewis, tickled about the dingle. Excellent, Lewis. Yeah. Michael Anthony, I think baseman has a majestic beard like a Viking. Yes, he has. Very Nordic. Jamie saying hello. Russell Zorner, good to see you. We're actually about to go. So you timed that one a bit badly there, Russ. Stacey, don't go razor off my hog. No, just trim the edges, all a problem. Not to worry, the base and the beard will remain, of course, remain pink. Absolutely. Yeah. Next time I'm the great. Right, you're gone, mate. So bye. That's him done. And Michael Anthony, and if that message gets out of the way. Gareth, how do the super quads compare to individual pickups? They're an approximation. So you'll never get it to sound like a set of 62 Jazz pickups or a set of 66 Precision pickups or a Music Man Stingray from 76. They're an approximation. It's a super powerful passive pickup, 4 coils, switchable. When you've got it in split coil, it's an approximation of a split coil pickup. When it's in single coil, it's an approximation of a single coil pickup. When it's in humbucker mode, it's an approximation of that. But they're very good, very versatile. The big thing for it is if you're having it as an active bass, the circuit you match it up with or match it up with them makes a huge difference. So you need to do a bit of sort of, as I say, mix and match, and you won't know, because although you can buy those from a store, you try finding a bass store or a guitar store that's got tech there and is going to keep soldering and unsoldering circuitry. They're not going to do it, so you just have to take that punt. But I can highly recommend the John East Uni Pre. It's Stacey. Here you go. It's currently 11. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to bed because I've got to be up at 6. And 37. No, it's not 37 degrees here. No, it's dropped. We've had it a lot cooler today. It's been about 23, 24 because we had rain this morning, so it cleared the humidity. It is all good. It's all good. Right, on that note, we're about to hit 11 o'clock. I will catch you guys up. We might do something tomorrow. We might not. I would imagine Friday. Might be able to do an impromptu live chat. So I've got a bit of Uncle Funk work to do. I've got some office tidying to do. Got some long form content to prepare as well. And I've got a couple of tracks to record as well. So it's a busy old day Friday, but I will see you anon. Tuesday, 8 o'clock. That's the regular live chat to come in for that. Boss, I know this is not anything that you're talking about, bro, but I just made 10 bands. Hey? I don't know what that means. I may be 11, but I still have a job. Oh, as in you think you're in 10 bands. Well, good luck with that. Most band gigs are Fridays and Saturdays. So unless you've created a carbon copying machine, you can send yourself to different places. I can't see you being in 10 bands for long because they'll get peed off that you can't be on their gig. I know a lot of people in the UK that do that sort of thing. They don't end up in lots of bands for long. Rocket, I'll see you in the next stream. Pleasure. I've had fun talking to you. Pleasure. Have a good one. Sleep well. I will. You may be in 11, but still have a job. Okay. If you want to come on and talk about this, Boston, Tuesday's the night for that. 8 o'clock. Michael Anthony, peace, love, and funk to all. Jamie, I'll speak to you anon. Stacey, I'll speak to you soon. Gareth, take care. Everyone, thank you very much. It's been a bit of a relaxed sort of chat following the hecticness of last night. So have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I might catch you tomorrow, or if not, I would imagine Friday. I'm going to try and do an impromptu chat on Saturday when we're at Richard Hammond's Castle as well. So if you're in the UK, I'm playing at Richard Hammond's Castle on Saturday. Should be a blast. What are we talking about? Who was this? The same model that Larry Graham wore? No. He didn't use a lodestone. He used moon bases. You want to talk about Larry Graham? Come on to Tuesday's live chat, Marcelo. I interviewed him 12 years ago. I could tell you plenty of Larry Graham stories on that, or you can find the interview if you want. Let me put it in here for you before I go. My throat's getting all husky. I knew it would. Here we go. Just for you, Marcelo. My interview with Larry Graham from 2013. Enjoy. On that note, I'm going to bed. Guys, have a great day tomorrow, and I'll catch you shortly. Take it easy. Thank you very much for last night. Thank you very much for this evening. Pleasure as always. Take care of yourselves.